In August 1914, Hetty Curtis walked out of her house and went up to Silver Street in Kettering, because in the window was the fantastic Singer machine. But there was a problem. The Singer machine was £9 and 10 shillings. £9 and 10 shillings when people were only getting maybe 10 shillings a week for a domestic. So how do you pay for it? Inside the shop was Mr. Chamberlain, inside the Singer shop, and he was well versed in hire purchase. So he came to an agreement with Hetty to pay 1 shilling and 3 pence a week. Now, Singers had perfected hire purchase back in the 1850s because nobody could afford their first machines, and so Isaac Singer's partner Edward Clark had worked out a brilliant hire purchase scheme, pretty much the same as you would buy your sofa, your settee or your car today, and it all started with Singers. So Hetty and Mr. Chamberlain came to an agreement. As long as she paid the 1 shilling and 3 pence every week, as long as she promised and agreed to maintain the machine and keep it in good order, then after a period the machine would be hers. Now she paid through the entire war, right the way through the war, and in the hire purchase, day after day, week after week, she paid. And what you see here is her payments every single week. She went out of her house, put this in her handbag and went up, and now it changes to 1 shilling and 6 pence during the war, and she has to pay another 6 pence, 3 pence. And this goes on all through the war until finally, coincidentally, just towards the end of the war, she finishes paying for her sewing machine. Now we don't know what Hetty made on this sewing machine. We don't know if she made her wedding dress, bridesmaids. We don't know if she made her children's clothes. But what we do know is that she loved this machine and cherished it. And 100 years later, we have this amazing piece of social history. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to jump ahead a little bit, because the First World War comes and goes, and now we're going to technology. Singers shot forward with their technology, mainly because of the war. And out by the 1930s, an amazing model, a Singer 201K came out. K in the Kilbowie Valley in Clydebank. 10,000 workmen building great machines. Now pre-war this was black cast iron. The reason we've got this one, this aluminium one, is it's a little legend attached to it, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. Also, electricity was going through the high streets, it was going through the villages, through the valleys, and for an extra £5 you could have a motor, a Singer motor put on the back. This motor is a Sotric motor by a London firm, but originally it would have had a Singer motor. You could still have it as a treadle, you could still have it as a hand machine, but most people wanted the motor. So with the same hire purchase scheme, you went and bought this fabulous machine with hardened steel corkscrew gears, rotary hook system. This was the first truly professional workhorse. Now, the 1930s wasn't a good time. The recession, kicked off by the Wall Street crash in 1929, swept the world. Millions of people lost their jobs. And in England you had things by October 1936, you had the Jarrow March, where the men walked down to London because their children really didn't have shoes on their feet. This was proper poverty. They never had coats in the rain. But you could still buy this on hire purchase. How brilliant is that? And you could earn a living. So the wife, the woman of the household, could earn a living on this. This machine would sew 1 layer, or it would sew 10 layers. This machine went over 1,000 stitches per minute. So you could really earn a living, and for the first time perhaps help towards the household bills. And the reason I'm showing you this one is because after the Second World War, Singers, because they had their help in the war, they made all sorts of things, from machine gun bullets to number 36 Mills bombs. If you ever see a hand grenade with SMC on it, that's a Singer manufacturing company. But after the Second World War, there was a lot of surplus aluminium. And so Singers switched from cast iron, switched to this little baby in aluminium. And there is a legend that says that maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of a Spitfire or a Hurricane or all sorts of pieces of the war effort went into this little beauty. And it is a little bit of social history, and that is the fabulous Singer 201 and hire purchase.